Oral Traditions presents Crosswired. This production contains strong language and would likely be rated PG. Parental discretion is advised.
Operational necessity, Madam Director.
Kazin is no field agent, Conway. We have personnel trained in this sort of thing.
Capturing cyborg spies in the agency?
You know what I mean. I should have been notified as soon as the slightest suspicion arose. It's one thing to find leaks in a contracting organization, but one of our own?
Kazin felt a personal tie to the subject. He'd been a mentor to him since he started here. As soon as the kid disappeared, he figured something was wrong and he wanted to find him. Help him.
Yeah, well, I need to speak with him right away.
He isn't available.
What do you mean?
I authorized him to take leave. This entire experience has him a bit shaken.
Shaken? He's supposed to be a highly trained senior leader. You're saying he needs a rest after a struggle-free capture of his young, trusting protege?
My interrogation may have been a bit harsh, ma'am. I had to be sure he wasn't harboring any sympathies for the plant.
I trust you didn't break any rules. Despite his poor judgment in this particular instance, Kazin has been a valuable asset to TAO. His record is...
I'm familiar with his record. Trust me, he'll be back before you know it, and I'll make him available to you as soon as he returns. It's my job to make sure he remains a valuable asset.
Very well. In the meantime, let's hope we recover Mr. Doherty quickly. I shudder to think of the damage he can do to this country.
How can IAD help?
By letting my people do their job without further interference.
Yes, Madam Director.
Thank you for seeing me, Miss...
Just call me Val.
Short for Valerie?
Yeah. You want some coffee or something, Mr. Boyle?
Call me Roger. And only if it's no trouble.
I got a pot on. I always got a pot on. Afraid I'm a bit addicted to the stuff. It's dark roast. Need cream? Sugar?
Sugar's fine. May I sit?
Oh, yeah. Where are my manners? I guess I'm still a little messed up.
You experienced a terrible event. It's to be expected.
It could have been worse, I guess. But some of those people who... Donna, I mean. We used to talk in the elevator all the time. She was getting married this summer. I was going to... I'd already picked out a dress.
I'm very sorry for your loss, and for intruding during this difficult time. I need to ask you some questions, though.
The FBI already asked me all sorts of stuff.
About the bombing, I know. My questions are a little different. I need to ask you about Dr. Garvin.
Oh my god, I completely blocked that out. Does that make me bad? Someone murdered my boss, and all I can think about is the bombing. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Val. Really. So much tragedy in such a short time. I've seen trained soldiers, battle-hardened, suffer just as much. You're not a bad person.
I haven't even thought about what I'm going to do. I mean, the office is gone. So was my boss. I haven't... God, what am I going to do?
It's going to be all right. The city has put together a support group. Some of the best counselors in the country have agreed to pitch in, help you cope, find a way forward for you, okay? Good. Can I ask you some questions? I'll get through them as quickly as I can.
Yeah, sure.
What was Dr. Garvin treating Simon Doherty for?
Simon? I don't think I can tell you that. Patient privacy and all.
Right. Did you talk to Dr. Garvin after the bombing, before he was killed?
We were released together. After the questioning, we shared a cab back to the parking garage so I could get my car.
Did he say anything about Mr. Doherty? Anything not related to his health care?
He was worried about Simon. I think he called him on his cell. Is Simon all right?
We don't know. We're trying to find him. You think he could have harmed Dr. Garvin?
Harmed? No, they were so friendly, they... Oh.
Oh? Oh, what?
Wires. I forgot. Oh, God.
Wires? You saw wires?
After the explosion, I thought he got hit by a piece of computer or something, but it was him. I didn't remember. I didn't tell that to the FBI. Am I going to jail? I didn't mean to.
It's okay, Val. You're not going to jail. But if the FBI asks you more questions, please, don't mention the wires.
You want me to lie?
No, not lie. Just skip that bit. This is a matter of national security. The FBI is investigating the bombing. I'm trying to find Simon.
You think he killed Dr. Garvin?
It's too soon to know that. But if Simon had wires inside him, Dr. Garvin had to have known, right? He's a doctor.
Well, yeah.
But he never said anything? To you?
No, I swear. He was treating Simon for his diabetes. Shit. I didn't mean to say that.
Let's talk about something else. How long have you worked for Dr. Garvin?
A couple of years. Maybe a little less. He had just moved to the area and was getting established. The doctor I used to work for retired, so I applied for the job.
Where did he move from?
Up north. Somewhere in Massachusetts? Near Boston, I think. I'm really not good at geography.
Were there any other doctors he worked with down here? Consulting with on Mr. Doherty, for instance? Anyone he used to share test results with, or anything like that?
Yeah, there was. I used to have sealed test results sent to a lab. To a Dr. Bannister.
Can you get me the address for him?
Her. Yeah, sure.
Thanks. Oh, do you know if Mr. Doherty had any family in the area?
I don't think so. He used to talk about his mom up in Rhode Island. I think his dad passed a few years ago. He had a girlfriend, though.
Do you know her name?
Started with a G, I think. Gretel or Gretchen or something. She came in with him a couple of times.
Did she ever meet with Dr. Garvin?
Yeah, sometimes she'd go in with Simon. A lot of wives go in with their husbands, though. It's not usually a big deal.
Right. Well, let me get that address from you and I'll be on my way.
Sure thing.
Here, I got you a water.
I hate planes.
Beggars can't be choosers. The storm has everything messed up. How's your head?
Those deal hurts.
I'm worried.
They said it will pass in a few hours.
No, Natalia. I mean about this whole situation. Some of the questions they were asking was...
The government. Very protective. You know how they are. And we are...
Foreign, I know. It was something else, though. I have a confession to make. I didn't tell them everything. I didn't want them to know that I knew about, well, Simon's condition.
Do you think they didn't already know?
I didn't want them to know that I knew. This is big, Natalia. Very big. If they think we knew, we could be labeled risk to national security. They could make us disappear.
I see your point.
What did you tell them?
They didn't ask me about the boy. I think they were more interested in you.
Me? What did they ask?
I can't remember. My head. Maybe when I feel better, will come back to me.
Well, whatever it was, they let us go. My sponsor, even promised me more resources. When have you heard that happen before?
He's strange. That's true.
Before they took us, you were talking about aliens. Do you really think that...
Sounds like nonsense, I know. Before I come to America, I spent time in the Russian army. There were times out in the field, very far to the north. We'd be out at night, watching the, aurora. And we'd see other lights moving in impossible ways. Maybe just reflections. I don't know. After seeing young Simon, I don't know what to believe. Ugh.
What's the matter?
I think I'm going to be sick. Excuse me.
Talia?
You have been listening to Crosswired, Episode 7, written by Steven Cardinal and starring David Loar as Conway, Heather Jane Hogan as Ms. Aster, Raul Ceballos as Boyle, Amanda Daniels as Valerie, Joshua Bates as Dr. Hadoop, and Kathleen O'Shaughnessy as Dr. Warkovsky. If you're enjoying Oral Traditions productions, please leave us a review on iTunes. Doing so will help other audio drama lovers find our show. You can also find us on Facebook or on the web at oraltraditions.org. Oral Traditions is a production of Straight Talk Entertainment.